epic Spaceducks. Boom!
Boom is right. Oh, wait.
Best music ever.
I got to do something. Hi, guys. Hold on. I got to do something.
Uh-oh.
There we go. Okay. Now we are right in the world of
The world is right again.
I don't know how that. Oh, probably because I was on here first tonight.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was in there. I had started the stream, set everything up, but I was piddling around on my desk, so I hadn't actually come into the studio section. So that was why. But I got my coffee in my sweet Indie Invasion Shorts cup, and I am ready to Indie Invasion Shorts.
I have real coffee tonight.
You got the spaceship.
And look, I'm the poster boy today.
You are the poster boy today. All I got is just a plain black T-shirt. I'm sorry. Hey, look, it's Todd R. What's happening, sir? Give Todd R. his statement there on our runner.
Boom, that was coming
boom,
up next.
Fastest 30 minutes in gaming.
Going on a shirt, Todd. It's going on a shirt, I'm telling you.
That's right. It is definitely going on a shirt.
And you will be able to find it soon.
I think I might get a hoodie with the spaceship on the back, and then maybe Coastal Con on the arm, and fastest 30 minutes in gaming on the somewhere on it. And my arms aren't that long, so I don't think I can get it on there. Yes, you're wearing shorts, Todd, so that does count because it is Indie Invasion Shorts, so absolutely counts.
We'll give it a little bit more time for people to jump on. We got 4 people right now.
Awesome.
Say hello if you're jumping on.
Hello. Oh, wait, I already jumped on.
We got one hello.
One hello from Todd.
Mac, the other night we did some recording. Everybody knows that we did some recording. I am halfway through it already, so we'll have some new audio come Monday. But guess what I forgot to do when we're recording? I forgot to tell you our joke.
Tell me the joke. I need
2 minutes before we pressed go on the record.
Right. You said you were going to tell me, and I forgot to. So go tell the joke.
My wife told me a joke, and I kind of giggled at it because I don't know if you guys tuning in knew that like the internet broke a little bit Monday, and the Facebook went down, and Instagram and stuff. And she came home and told me, she's like, "You like this?" She's like, she said Facebook went down because basically what happened is they took down a Chuck Norris post. Chuck Norris took Facebook down. I could only giggle at that.
That's good. Do not take down Chuck's posts. Do it. Hello, Alder. Welcome. He says happy Friday. Look at him talking to us from the future.
That's right. The future.
And Todd says, bright. Can you plug a thing while we wait? Sure. What do you got? Throw it up there. Let's see what you got.
Hello, Mike. Mike is joining us, and my furry friend once again. All right.
Your cat. Very nice. Very nice. Well, I this evening was working on, so this afternoon I managed to get a little bit of paint on. I got some new Eden miniatures. Can't really see those. And of course, you people on the podcast listening on Podbean won't be able to see at all, but I just got some base colors down on some Eden Bamaka that I'll use in the Drowned Earth. And then I got one of my deliveries today of some of my commission painted models. So I'm excited about that. I was just putting them on their clear bases. I see Todd. Sixth edition unboxing. Check it out if you want to waste another 30 minutes. You know what?
Mine's coming, Todd, but it got delayed in Chicago.
Yeah, Todd, throw the link up in the chat, and then on Facebook, and it'll be there, and we'll
I'll finagle something.
Yeah, go do wave magic wands and stuff. Don't be hating on your cat, man.
Oh, I gotta give a quick shout out because he might be on here, but I don't know if he knows how to text. Dad, dear old Dad is tuning into the podcast.
Hi, Dad. Up, Dad? Pops? And he gave us the thumbs up too.
All right, so he is here. That's about the only way I can tell he's here. Thumbs up.
Tim says the cat's going to be a co-host for Thursday. Yeah, the cat's kind of been horning in on us a little bit.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's making a whole lot more
superstar.
Yep.
He's
hopefully he'll push us over the top. You know what I mean? Is all of a sudden everybody will start tuning in because
there you go, Dad, all the way from Australia.
Look at there. From tomorrow even.
From tomorrow.
Little hello from tomorrow. Okay, and guys over on Facebook, you can check it out. Todd just threw up the link for his Car Wars 6th edition unboxing. So you can check that out if you want to check out Todd's unboxing. I'm sure Eric's going to be doing one soon as well. But
yeah, my mail Kickstarter mailing is starting to pile up, and it's like I want to open all this cool stuff, and I'm like, ooh, opportunity unboxing. Ooh, I could do this and that.
Yeah,
so.
See, I can't not open stuff. I'll open it up and then put a piece of tape on it and then just pretend I'm opening it. Todd says cat videos are all the rage. Now, if we could just get your cat to do something besides put his butt in your face when he gets up there, we'd be doing good.
Yeah, really.
We'd be doing good. All right. Well, also, oh yeah, post that up in Discord too, Todd, so that Mike said throw that up in the Discord. But if you throw that up in over there as well, people can check it out. I'm going to go check it out after, because while I didn't back that Kickstarter, I know the cars that they had looked really cool. And as I understood it, there was some real refinement on playing.
I downloaded a bunch of the rules today just to see what there was, because I couldn't wait. And there's a lot of like special, I don't know if you want to call them scenarios, but special rules for the different packs and stuff like that.
Lots of refinement too in the game too, isn't there? So that it doesn't take you 14 hours to round one corner in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's the biggest thing that I remember about Car Wars was building your car and then taking 6 times as long to play an eighth of a turn, kind of. You know what I mean? Just taking a lot of time. But like that ever bothered any of us as gamers, right?
True. Look what somebody did today. I went a little goofy on the War Game Vault. So I thought
they were having a sale, so
they had a sale, and we just found out about this one that has solo rules in it, which I'm pretty excited for. Here, you want to see what else I got? Because I didn't get a chance to share with you. Whoops.
Oh, what else did you get?
I did not want to do what I just did.
Well, then you probably shouldn't have done it.
I got this one.
Oh, you did pick up that one.
Got that one, and
Cartoon Action Hour. Okay.
And then on top of that, what I had to get was, because that's like an add-on type of thing, I had to get this one, which is the main core rules.
Right.
So
yeah, well, we were talking about those the other day, and the thing about it is since they're not in print, I haven't pulled the trigger on them. That's why.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go take these and get them printed out, since they're only offered in PDF. And then for the heck of it, it's one that's been in my wish list for a while. Why not?
Well, sure. Of course, why not?
So this is another like kind of Thundar type.
Of course. Well, since you're sharing stuff, we also, if you guys want to check this out, now we're doing a little bit more investigating on this one. So let me share this real quick. Yeah, it is that right there. So that's a very interesting concept. We got contacted by Pandyman Entertainment, and basically you're playing first responders. So it was really unique. So we checked it out, and hey, it's indie, so that's why we checked it out. I thought it was pretty cool.
Well, Tim's all over it too. He said he got the expansion. I can't wait to play that. So, and Mike got it. Then
Yep. Oh, it looks like Todd got in about an hour's worth of Car Wars too. So that's awesome. So awesome. Lots of cool stuff going on. Excited about that. So Eric, fastest 30 minutes in gaming. Yeah, we're already 9 minutes in.
Yeah, we better jump into it, guys.
What are we talking about?
So tonight, what we're going to talk about, I actually got paper notes here tonight. So we're going to talk what keeps you putting a game on the table over and over, basically.
Replayability.
Yep. Why do you keep going back to these games? So tonight we're talking about replayability in games and looking at some of the other things that go with this. And whether it could this concept could be with mini games, it could be RPGs, it could be board games.
Right.
So replayability. Some examples, Mac. Let's jump right into it. What are some elements in a game that make it replayability?
Well, I know one of the things that we chatted about when we were talking about the show was, and honestly, it seems like this game comes up often for a lot of different subjects. And I guess there's a reason for it, and that would explain the success of it. But Zombicide. So all of the decks that they have in there that create all of these different options and create a different scenario kind of every time you're doing it. There's different zombies that can come out. You can find different equipment. You set the board up a different way. Not that you can't achieve that in other games, but having the deck of cards just kind of contributes to that a different randomness. Yeah, exactly. A randomness that avoids things being repeated.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that. That's something that gets me coming back to a game. Urban Manhunt cards.
The event cards.
Same principle. Yeah, the event cards, same principle. Or even when you're drawing crims, all the same stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's a couple of them. And if you guys have anything that makes you get a game back to the table, let me know, because I got a lot of games that need to get to the table.
Yeah.
So, and we just keep throwing new ones up. I mean, Eric just threw 4 up there, and
4 of them.
I felt obligated to put at least one. Alder says, "Who else thought Mac was going to say Twisted first?"
Ding, ding, ding,
ding. Twisted. I have 3 Twisted models on my desk right now that are waiting to be put onto their bases. They're Irkin. And then everything else I have on my desk right now is all stuff that is going to be incorporated into Twisted in all of my Twisted tales that I like to create. So anyway, what about you? What's something that draws you?
Well, I think something that's kind of important for a game replayability is you go basic dice. Now, I'm not just talking about a D6 or the system has a D10. I'm talking the full range. Right. So when a game system has from D4 up to D20, say, it gives you a wider range for the characters, the minis, right, or RPG, or even a board game. Some board games use more than just your classic D6s.
Yeah.
Depending on, like, if it's a dungeon crawler, that'd be a good example of certain monsters roll certain dice. So that kind of stuff adds, we mentioned, that randomness. It adds a broader range of the randomness that can happen. So I think that's an important factor in a game. You think about, like we mentioned, Car Wars and stuff. The new edition, you're taking handfuls of dice and you're rolling them. So that's a lot of dice that you're rolling.
So what you're saying is a game that uses the whole polyhedral dice set,
if you want to get technical, yes,
has good replayability. A game such as, I don't know, Twisted. A game like that, maybe
that's one that made me think of, the full dice system. There you go. There's your bell again.
There's the bell. There's the bell.
And there's a few games out there like that that do that, and it's something that keeps things interesting. Free Blades, yep.
Free Blades. I mean, and they have some weird dice in there too. They have like D16 and D30. So they have some
too much.
Yeah. So they added. I think those add a lot as well. And then for replayability, expansions, supplements, and new minis.
We've mentioned that plenty of times because there's awesome games out there, and you play them, and it's like, okay, what's next? What now? We just mentioned Reign in Hell just came out with an expansion that has additional rules for solo play, I think co-op play, and it's a brand new campaign in there. So
yeah, and I think there's a little bit of kind of like a duality with that replayability in a game. So there's replayability as in those expansions, so kind of piquing your interest anew over and over again.
Refresher.
Versus straight up replayability of the game on the table, sans anything else.
Yeah.
Don't add anything else to it. And again, we always go back to Zombicide with that. They're not adding anything to that original modern zombie thing. I mean, they did the new edition, but what I mean is they're not constantly adding updates like GW would do, new army.
Yeah, the core rules are still the same.
Everything is just the same, and yet it still has that replayability kind of built into the game versus continually releasing. And I think that's a struggle indie developers have, because they most often have a good solid set of rules with a lot of elements that people look for in replayability. They have randomness. They'll have variety, like Alder is talking about here, for replaying. They'll have everything except the releases, the regular releases, and it's because it's so much harder to do with the smaller company. So we got a lot of questions. You want to jump into some of those?
Let's go ahead and hit some of these.
Comments.
So let's see. We
got started with this one, Talisman. Yeah, you know what? I still have my copy of Talisman too, Todd, and I can put it on the table. My kids like it, but I will tell you this: sometimes Talisman can turn into Monopoly for how long it goes. Sometimes it does that. That's the only downside for it, but it is really replayable. I agree. I definitely agree with that.
Tim's got this up when we talk about like expansion stuff. A game set that has miniatures, that's kind of like they have to put more out to keep you coming back to collect them, you know, say. And like he says, having a variety of different unit types, you know, that you can pick from, make the game each session feel different, because you can try different combos and put them together. And maybe it's a scenario-based game where you need to kind of, okay, you can put a bunch of guys together, but they may not really do much to achieve that scenario. So you're kind of mid-maxing that, you know, the game in that sense.
And I think that the skirmish games that are over the past few years have been coming out more and more often. It gets a little bit harder because so many of them are trying to be compact and inexpensive to get into. So by default, you're kind of limiting the number of options that you have to choose from, just because I mean, unless you're doing miniatures agnostic, and then you just go, hey, let's make up 500 different things, because that works too. So Mike.
So Mike's got a good one here. I think he's trying to get me a little bit here, but he is right. Immersion is a good one. So he's as an example, he's using Marvel Crisis Protocol. When he plays it, he feels like he's playing in the comic book. That is a big one. When you get sucked into the world, that you feel like you're in it. Any game where you get that focused into it, that's a really cool thing for a game, because that's going to make you want to keep coming back. I mean, if you don't feel like you're really, you know, you're just pushing plastic, you know, that's no fun.
Yeah. So Tim and Josh, hey, Josh joined us. And if you don't know who Josh is, go over to Zombie Smith Miniatures and you can check out Quar and all kinds of other really cool games that I have probably, well, if he's still watching, he knows I don't have too much stuff, but I probably have too much stuff. But he's got some really cool games, indie stuff. Go over and check that out. But he and Tim commented on campaign. And I think it's important to kind of break that down, because there's two different kinds of campaigns, I think. So I'm going to mention Twisted again, because you know that's my jam, is Twisted. And as much as I love Twisted, and it does have a campaign where you play through a series of stories, I'm with Tim on this one for what I want my campaign to do. I want my campaign to allow my character to progress. I want them to get better or get injured, even where you're having to compensate for something. It's why I'm enjoying 5 Parsecs from Home, is because there's that feeling. And again, and we've mentioned this before, I got hooked on that idea of progressing all the guys in the war band or gang or whatever it is in the original iteration of Necromunda, because I loved the fact that everything progressed versus, and please don't everyone unsubscribe, because I'm probably going to say heresy. It's what I don't like about Frostgrave, is that not everyone in your crew progresses. It's just the 2. And I like the game and I like the mechanics and all of that. I really do. But I don't like that only 2 guys progress. So that's just so I think there's 2 different kind of campaigns that you have to look at. So
okay. I got one more before we move out of the elements, because we skipped over one. And speaking of Zombicide and other board game kind of games like this, is modular boards, whether the boards are for war games or, you know, RPGs. Most of these would work for RPGs. You could take these board games like Zombicide and use it in an RPG. But I think something that like a tile system that allows you to either flip it over or twist and turn it to change it. Or, I mean, in a minis game, skirmish game, how many neoprene maps do we have for our minis games? Because we want to fight in the grasslands or the badlands.
Do we have to say, are you demanding that we say? Because I don't want to say.
You know, I say you can't count that high. You don't have enough fingers and toes.
I counted them, and let me tell you, there is a real problem when you have a buddy who prints them. You can really develop a real problem. So that Todd just said buy all the mats. I did. It's good. I did.
Yeah, he did. We can't buy anymore. He bought them all.
Buy anymore. It's like Keith Richards and doing drugs. If you guys remember that in the 80s on MTV, he did that "Don't Do Drugs" commercial. Dennis Leary had that joke. He said, "We can't do any more drugs, Keith. You did them all. We got to wait for you to die and smoke your ashes." So, Dennis Leary, I wasn't stealing your joke. It was just too funny. Josh, to answer your question, 5 parsecs is awesome. He wanted to know if it is. It is super awesome.
I think Josh needs to go watch some certain videos that somebody started recording, right?
Yeah. We've got a couple up. I've got my crew video and
maybe that'll get them to make more.
But yes, it's super awesome. I'm really, really enjoying it. And Todd just threw up we need another t-shirt one. I need to get stronger gear so I can beat bigger monsters so I can get stronger gear.
Man, that's a good one, Todd.
That is it right there. All right. Anyway, back to replayability.
So what kind of games, can you think of any games that pop in your head that have good replayability? We already mentioned Zombicides. Any other things that pop in your head? I mean, really, I think any role-playing game would count as replayability. So we don't need to really name a specific on that in the role-playing world, but like skirmish games, and I mean a lot of the board games, that's kind of what make or breaks a board game, is if it has good replayability, like a lot of bits and, like you mentioned, cards and dice and stuff.
So for me, the skirmish games that are going to have the most replayability for me, and I think this is mostly going to be different for everybody, because we were talking with Spaz the other night, just separately hanging out with them, and the topic came up that people are looking for different things in games. So what's going to make it replayable for you isn't necessarily going to make it replayable for me. So that story arc and that narrative is what's going to hook me. So I'll give you a few examples for you guys that are looking narrative and story wise of things that I think would hook you. One is 5 parsecs from home. It doesn't have an extensive universe background,
but it's got charts galore, right?
Right. So you're building the universe, but then flip that on its head and go the opposite direction, where you have this super extensive universe built. And I'm going to throw Josh out there, his game Quar. And you can go to the website and read all of this stuff. There's just pages and pages and pages of what's going on in the world. Twilight, Chronicles of Anural by Mike Thorpe, same way. It's got this huge, extensive universe. So for replayability, if you're looking for the narrative aspect of it, that's the thing that's always going to get me back to a game. Is it's like, what kind of story am I going to be able to tell? Is it so good that I'm going to sit down at my computer and I'm going to type out 4 paragraphs of story over the game that I just played, because it was so intriguing within the context of that narrative. So that's what is for me.
Here, Josh threw up a good question. What makes something like chess so replayable?
I think that it is that I think it boils down to kind of what Tim said. It's obviously it's not troop choices, because you're limited to the same troop choices, but it's the decisions you can make with those troops.
The combos, right? There's
basically
so many combos.
Maybe I guess you could say min-maxing for what list building guys do.
That's why they write books about the game, you know?
Right. It is that it's that strategic challenge that doesn't exist, I don't think, in a lot of our skirmish games, simply because the dice element changes that, because all of a sudden it becomes super random. You know what I mean? Once you introduce that random element, you could have the best strategy in the world and the dice turn on you and it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Whereas in chess, if that happened to you, it's because you made a mistake or the other person is just a superior player or had a better strategy. So, and it's funny that you said that you brought up chess, Josh, because it's that same thought process and challenge that always brings me back to playing Onitama with my kids.
Very similar to chess.
Exactly. It's that exact same thing. As a matter of fact, I just posted pictures on Instagram and Discord of me and my son playing last night. And it's that same thing that brings me back to that one as it being replayable. So what about you? What's your boom replayability?
So when I think about games out there and replayability, I just about any game to me that has like a passionate community behind it, a community that when you join it, you feel like you're with your buddies right away. There's so many, like Monster Apocalypse would be my example of a game. I got into that partly because, with my son, something to do with him, right, and to do as a father-son type of thing. But then we met the community that was involved in this game. And it's like, we met so many people that I am still friends with today. Spaz, I met him
right,
probably 12 years ago, I think almost now. And, I've met a bunch of other people that I didn't even know were from my area. I had to drive all the way to Oklahoma to meet them, but they're like an hour away from where I am up here.
Right.
So I think a fun community behind a game that kind of shares that same mentality that I do in a lot of games. I don't care if I win. I'm playing these games for fun.
Right.
And I mean, you experienced that with Wild West Exodus, another example of a game that I think has a lot of replayability based on, it's got the units, it's got the dice, it's got cards,
right,
but then same thing for me, it has that community. I met a lot of you guys at Adepticon and you're still talking to me. So it must have been, we must have hit it off.
Yeah. The other thing too, everybody knows I'm not a big second edition Wild West Exodus fan, but it also has that story element. It has that narrative drive to the story. So you can almost pick and choose the element of it that you want to go with. You can be competitive. You can be a min-maxer. You can do all of that stuff, or you can just play it for the story. You know what I mean? So I think it brings a lot to the table. Yes. I got booed by Todd.
So some games will have multiple elements that give you that replayability, but like we were kind of touched on earlier, is it's going to be subjective to the person themselves. Like kind of what draws them to a game. Like you, narrative, me, I love community. So that's something to think about when you're looking at games if it has replayability. Off the bat, it may not have a lot of those elements, but it may have maybe one thing that's enough for you.
Right. Tim threw out there 100% on the community, even if it's mostly online. Yeah, which, I mean, that's a lot of what it is, especially for the small skirmish ones. And, bye, Josh. We'll see you later.
Bye, Josh.
Thanks for dropping in, man. And that's one of the big things got him in love with Gangs of the Undercity, which I'm waiting for my book because I went ahead and ordered my print copy from Drive-Thru RPG, but I haven't gotten it yet. So, and actually I forgot that I had ordered it until Tim mentioned it again. So thanks for making me excited again, Tim. I appreciate that. And there's Todd's boo.
What's he booing you about again?
He's booing me about liking first edition Wild West Exodus better than second. Because I'm
sorry. Is an everyday battle with me, man.
No, the thing about it is Todd is, I can't help it if I'm right. First is better. Alder, what about third edition? Third edition, what? What are we talking?
Oh, I already got into this with him, Alder. So
third edition, what?
We'll have to wait and see. He's talking about Wild West Exodus. We may have to just start completely over. Be on even ground then.
What? What are you talking about? See, well, this is not information I know. What's going on? What's going on? I jump off of Facebook for a year and look what happens to you guys. Start talking about third edition Wild West Exodus. Listen, I still have so many Wild West Exodus models unpainted. I love War Cradle as a company for what they've done. I just don't like the new rules. That's all.
We'll see what the new rules are.
What does that even mean? Why 3rd edition? No. I need my cards. Mike says, I prefer a community I can meet with. Yes. You know what, Mike? Me too. So my 2 cents on COVID, it sucked for everybody, but the silver lining, because you got to find the silver lining in everything. You know what I mean? Stuff's going to suck. It's just, that's life. Stuff's going to suck sometimes. But the silver lining is it really pushed the online community and the gaming community in general, because we couldn't all get together. Tabletop Simulator just took off, man. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it blew up. A lot of that's still going on. A lot of the smaller developers were really doing a lot more YouTube stuff and reaching out to the communities and just being way more proactive. So there were definitely, I think it was very positive, but I'm with you 100%, Mike. I am not a fan. So in addition to Twisted, I'm also a Drowned Earth junkie, big time. And they have regular tabletop simulator games going on, regular ones going on all the time. I got zero interest.
Yeah. There's definitely a disconnect with the online thing. But with this last year, it is something that kept us in contact with your community. So can't say that it wasn't all bad.
Right.
And for some people, that's maybe the only way they can do it, because they don't, have a game store or
absolutely
a game group.
Some people are going to be immunocompromised. You know what I mean? They're going to be in a position where they're like, hey, I'm just not going out. So that gives them the opportunity to do that. Todd makes a good point too. Solo or AI in games really became a thing. Absolutely. Yep. I think
almost every game now, it seems like that's a must have for the game. And, we talk about replayability. That's a big replayability anymore in games.
To be able to be home on a Saturday afternoon and nobody's available and you can throw it on the table.
Instead of watching TV, you can just, throw that on the table.
And interestingly, there were already games like that. So, for instance, 5 Parsecs from Home and 5 Leagues, I think it's From Home. I can't remember. Both of those were already solo before all that happened. Well, now, I mean, look at 5 Parsecs. You go type that in on YouTube right now, and you got a long list to scroll through because of that. So, and I'm going to hit this last comment because I think this was an important one, that Mike tried Tabletop Simulator but missed his friends. I totally get that. It's
a good way to sum it up.
Yeah. And for us here, where I'm at, not having a game store, I missed conventions because that's where I would go to connect with all the folks that I know. So that's what it is. Okay, I lied. I'm going to take one more comment. Tim, you can come here and play. I don't want to play big games.
Here we go.
Want to find a community to play with? Here I am, right here. I don't know where you.
I just got an idea.
I don't know where you live, but it's still warm here.
So you're sending me these links of these big old mansions all the time as
podcast mansion.
Yeah, we dub them the podcast mansion. Man, we get a big old one like that. Everybody can just live in that mansion.
Just everybody, come on,
meet in the middle, and let's just all games.
That's right. Hey, Coastal Con is coming.
I'm not saying it sounds a little bit like a compound, but
everybody, look, there will be no grape Kool-Aid. Okay, there will never be grape Kool-Aid. Grape knee-high, maybe. You have to make your own call on that one. But anyway, that's replayability, or as we said, the fastest 30 minutes in gaming. And this episode that I named "Play It Again, Sam." So if you guys can think of any other games that have really high replayability that are just on your top list of you're always going to put it on the table, let us know what it is and let us know why it is, because we would certainly try it. If nothing else, we'll try a game at least once. We may not like it. We may love it, but we will certainly try it. In the meantime, do I have I'm taking us out tonight, aren't I?
Your turn.
I don't even. Oh, it's my turn. Yes.
I'll do the banners.
You do the banners. Okay. So anyway, guys, thank you for joining us for the fastest 30 minutes in gaming, Indie Invasion Shorts. And thank you also for joining us on our new night. So just remember, we'll be doing it every Thursday instead of every Wednesday night. So we have officially moved to Thursdays. and we were successful because this is what qualifies it as a success. Eric and I both remembered that we were supposed to do it tonight, Thursday. So that's a win right there. But you can check this out tomorrow. You can find it on Podbean, where you can also find all the rest of our content. We've got over 200 episodes up on Podbean, so you can download that app and listen on the go, in the car, wherever you're going on your way to work. Got some short ones, got some long ones. Check them out. We are on every single podcast platform you can think of. If you don't like podcasts, check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Discord. Discord channel is really hopping pretty well. If you want to see some super cool stuff, I'm going to brag on Alder real quick. He has posted some just absolutely amazing. I love those last days pictures. He has got some amazing tables for zombie games. So he'll definitely be a member of the compound because he'll have to bring his last days stuff. So
yeah.
There you go. So lots of cool pictures over there and stuff going on. Get over there, check out the Discord, and join. We would love to have you over there. And also, it is the 7th of October. And by the 31st of October, I will have the information for the venue for CoastalCon 2022. So you want to check anything out about CoastalCon, head over to coastaltex.com. You can find links to everything that we have talked about: Discord, Podbean, YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff. It is all over there in one location, as well as some links to some friends of the show, in particular Discover Games and Unipolar Games, who supply t-shirts and tons and tons and tons and tons of minis. Discover Games is one of those unique game stores that carries lots of this independent stuff that we talk about. So it's a good place to find it. Also, you can check us out on Patreon. Everything over there is free. You do not have to be a patron to check out what we put over there. But if you want to support us, we will not say no, so that we can get the Compound Podcast Mansion.
That's right.
So that we can
I want
all
that
get
one
together
with that big driveway, so we can have races
You
around
like that?
the
So
oval.
we could play Mario Kart real size.
Yeah, real size.
Life size Mario Kart. Sweet. I'm down for that. Definitely down for that. And also, last but not least, please go over and check out our Redbubble. We got some real cool stuff over there. We have coffee cups, t-shirts, hats, mouse pads, all kinds of neat stuff. Hoodies.
I think there's mini skirts on there now.
Are there mini skirts? I mean, I'm not getting one of those.
Mini skirts. Get them for
Tyler,
the wives, the ladies.
That's right. Tyler just got a pair of socks in the mail the other day. So lots of cool stuff over there. And
Spaz, he said he wanted a mini skirt for some reason.
Did Spaz get a mini skirt? Oh,
he wants one. I don't know why.
Spaz, knock yourself out, buddy. Well, he does have a granddaughter. He could get it for his granddaughter.
That's true.
Not a mini skirt. Not for his granddaughter. Longer skirt for his granddaughter. Anyway, you can check it out over on Redbubble. Lots of cool stuff over there. Once again, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Biggest thing that you can do for us, just like every time, like, share, subscribe. If you're not following us on Twitch, go over there and follow us on Twitch. Follow us on YouTube. Make sure you hit that little notification bell so you can see when we post something new up there, because we're usually posting stuff pretty regularly. But until then, guys, Mr. Hard Copy, I do. That's the whole reason I don't have all those books. Remember, guys, to prepare yourself for the invasion.